The tears from MJF's eyes have finally dried, and so has the ink written on the suspension contract of Britt Baker. But now there's finally a little bit of an update on the situation. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Wrestling. Just when you think things got dry, there's a juicy little update thanks to Mr. Jim Cornette, Big JC himself, and his podcast host, Brian Last. Now, Jim Cornette spends 95% of his podcast rambling and ranting about Donald Trump, Kane, Val Venis, and any other Republican in the wrestling business. But the other 5% of the time, he actually spent talking about AEW and the MJF Britt Baker situation. Now, it turns out not only was Britt Baker suspended, but she was also fined. So that is what we're going to discuss today. Now, Wrestle Headlines have did a report. They listened to the full podcast. We did not. We don't really care about Jim Cornette anymore. He's an arsehole. Yeah, Jim Cornette's funny, but I'm not listening to 3 hours of his shit, right? So that's that. But they have compiled a list of bullet points on the situation. Now, first of all, she was fined by HR. And the reason she was fined by HR is because she was reported to them from creative team member Will Washington for ignoring his creative ideas. Now, you might be thinking, who the hell is Will Washington? Who's this nobody? Turns out he's Swerve Strickland's cousin, and he somehow got a place on the creative team. So this just goes to back up that AEW is truly family and friends. And who's this guy? What a little bitch. I mean, Britt Baker didn't like his creative ideas and he complains to HR and gets her fined for that. Like, what is happening here? This is a guy complaining because some chick didn't like the ideas that he was coming up with. I mean, who is he? Will Washington. His ideas could have been shit for all we know. Who's this guy to complain about someone not liking his creative ideas and then getting someone fined? I mean, what the hell is going on here? It doesn't make any sense to me.
Another member of the family and friends, Thomas the bloody Tony Khan Tank Engine Show, damn it.
Yeah, so I don't understand that. Why would you be fined, honestly, for not liking an idea? That just seems insane. Baker then was also suspended for what is believed to be 2 weeks after the incident took place on the 17th of March. The findings were revealed on the July 24th, and the suspension took effect after Baker's win over Shida. The belief is that Baker took shots while the locker room was watching the Will Ospreay MJF near hour-long match. You say near hour-long match, it was 2 seconds shy of a full hour, so let's just call it an hour-long match. But, yeah, I mean, I can totally see Britt Baker sitting back here probably saying, how can these guys get an hour match? You add in post-match, you add in entrances, probably like an hour 15. She's probably sitting in the back complaining about the amount of time they get and the lack of time she gets. Has she got a right to do that? I would say so. Why not? Is it the end of the world? I don't think so.
I'm going to completely agree. I think, it was Dynamite 250. It's supposed to be a show showcasing 5 years of Dynamite. And if we're being truthful...
Yeah, Will Ospreay's just there.
Yeah, I mean, at least MJF's been there from day one, but Will Ospreay's just some guy thrown in the door. And no, it's pathetic, but that's shit. No, I agree. That is exactly what it is. She's probably said, how are these two giving an hour? Like, one guy's just in the door, and MJF, alright, he's been in the door quite a while since the beginning, but it's like, it's two fucking guys.
Yeah, two guys. The next bullet point says, Will Ospreay reportedly confronted Baker first and gave her a tongue lashing. Though that could sound sexual, apparently it was less enjoyable for Baker than it might sound. That coming from, I believe, Jim Cornette. So, Will Ospreay was first then to confront Baker, probably getting his little panties in a twist that someone didn't like his flippy-dippy, non-selling style of match. I mean, God forbid, not everybody in the wrestling business thinks that Will Ospreay's the greatest thing going today.
Yeah, God forbid about that. But again, Will Ospreay, is it weird or... I mean, he's confronted her first, then MJF's confronted her.
Yeah, so Will Ospreay had first go, I guess. Then Alicia Tout reportedly tipped MJF and Ospreay off to what Baker was saying. Although I imagine for Will Ospreay to confront her, she had to do that first. Baker then reportedly confronted Alicia Tout, saying, quote, "Get out of my locker room," end of quote. A tout has been hired by AEW for a few months now. She is the girlfriend of fiance MJF, but she hasn't appeared on AEW TV yet, even though they've got lots of interview female roles. I guess she's another one to add to that list, but she hasn't made her debut yet, so for whatever reason. And then finally, Dave Meltzer reports that most of the people who he has spoken to feel sympathetic to Baker and feel like she got the short end of the stick, which, I mean, I can totally understand. So 2 weeks suspended and getting a fine from HR because she didn't want to listen to some creative ideas from Will Washington, who's probably only got a job because his cousin is the AEW World Champion. It does sound like Britt Baker here has got the short end of the stick. If MJF was running people... I mean, MJF basically goes on camera, man, and cuts promos and saying, like, I'll be taking on a random nobody from Mexico. Is that not more unprofessional than Britt Baker badmouthing someone in the locker room?
Yeah. No, it is. Of course it is.
Britt Baker's voicing her opinion in the locker room, surrounded by her fellow, workers, her fellow colleagues. MJF purposely goes on the mic and runs people down, breaks kayfabe. So, for me, what's worse? What's worse?
It's definitely MJF. And again, Alicia Tout, another person just got a job because she's with MJF. Family and friends continues.
Yeah, so Will Washington getting a job with creative because his cousin's with Swerve Strickland. Alicia Tout getting a job being an interview, even though she hasn't interviewed anybody yet, because she's the girlfriend of MJF. And it seems like Britt Baker here has got the short end of the stick. If MJF was backstage, if MJF was bashing or saying something negative about a match that was happening in the ring, would MJF be suspended for 2 weeks? I doubt it.
No, I doubt. I mean, you look how much stuff he said anyway. As you say, he's broke kayfabe 100 times.
If Will Washington gave MJF an idea and MJF went, your idea sucks, would he get fined?
No, this is just the narrative, though. See, if Vince McMahon did this to a woman, like, suspend her for 2 weeks, see, he'd be so much heat would be at his door.
Misogyny.
See, because it's Tony Khan, I mean, even Triple H would get away with it as well. It's fucking embarrassing. It is. That's what it is.
I think Britt Baker's been hard done by here, and unless there's some other stuff that she did that hasn't been reported. I don't know. Did she start laying the smackdown on MJF and Will Ospreay? She could probably beat both up anyway, so maybe she did. I don't know, but just from what we've heard and from what we've seen and from what can be confirmed, doesn't seem right that Britt Baker is being suspended.
And what about Adam Cole? Bye. What's he doing? This is his wife or girlfriend. He's just fucking sitting there, letting her get abused by two fucking marks.
Sitting there in his wee wheelchair with his leg.
No, honestly, what's he doing? Should he not be fucking defending his missus here?
Should be
getting hit at. No surprise when you look at a guy the physique Adam Cole, like, not doing fucking hee-haw about it.
Yeah, but two guys coming in and, fucking confronting her and shouting at her, and what's Adam Cole doing?
He's a fucking car there, man. That's what he is.
There you go, guys. Anyway, let's know what you think down below. But yeah, a fine and suspended for 2 weeks. Why? Because she didn't like an idea? Because she didn't like the fact that she didn't go on Dynamite 250 because of an hour-long match? I think she's got every right to feel that way. 250 was supposed to celebrate 5 years of AEW, the people that helped get AEW there. Will Ospreay wasn't one of those guys.
He wasn't one of those guys, but here, man, you look at the history of wrestling. I mean, I know this isn't an Adam Cole bashing show, but let's turn it into it, may as well. It's like, who would just fucking sit there and take that? Maybe he has said something, but I doubt it. I think if something like that has happened, it would have been reported on.
He'd probably be suspended as well.
Yeah, well, there you go. He's fucking loser.
Anyway, guys, that's it. Catch you in the next one. Let us know your thoughts down below, and peace.